Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Lori Johnson. While the East Coast is catching a break from extreme weather for the New Year's holiday, the West Coast continues to weather winter's wrath. Jennifer Wishon reports.
It's been a rough holiday season for residents in western states. People in places like hard-hit Highland, California, have just about had it.
It's been hard. We can't sleep. We're having a hard time to eat. It's just one thing after another right now.
Southern California residents continue digging out from mudslides after another round of rain and snow fell on the already soggy state.
We're going to be here digging our hearts out today.
As the storm clouds closed in, people worked frantically to prepare any way they could, like stuffing 100,000 sandbags.
We have done everything we can. We've provided every safety measure we can, but we can't control Mother Nature, and we saw her wrath last week.
After heavy storms, rivers of mud and muck slid into dozens of homes before Christmas. 50 homes that were evacuated last week remain unlivable.
It's really dangerous. It's scary.
This horse stuck in a mud hole near Lake Matthews demonstrates just how dangerous the situation is. It took rescuers 4 hours to pull the horse out of the muck.
1, 2, 3.
Officials say the ground in so much of California is so saturated, there'll be the danger of mudslides and flows of debris through the end of winter. But it could have been worse. This latest round of storms was not as severe as some predicted. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News.
Turning overseas, an Israel court found former Israeli President Moshe Katsav guilty of 2 counts of rape and sexual harassment charges. He was convicted of raping a woman while with Israel's tourism ministry and of sexual harassment from his time as president. Katsav has claimed innocence from the beginning, calling the charges against him a political witch hunt. He plans to appeal the conviction. Meanwhile, the 65-year-old remains free until his sentencing and faces no less than 4 years in prison. Al-Qaeda has found a new hideout, and CBN News has obtained exclusive video of the terrorists' training in North Africa. As Eric Stakelbeck reports, the group has America and Europe in its sights.
The hunt is on for Al-Qaeda, from Pakistan to Iraq to Yemen. U.S. pressure has forced the terror network to search for new safe havens. They found one in the Sahara Desert in an area known as the Islamic Maghreb.
The Sahara could be the next Afghanistan, a wide-open desert, a series of failed states with very weak militaries. It's the perfect breeding ground for al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, or AQIM, has set up shop in the deserts of Algeria, Mali, Niger, and Mauritania. Hardened al-Qaeda fighters there vow to target American interests.
There have been plots by al-Qaeda in the Maghreb to attack U.S. warships in the Straits of Gibraltar. There have been plots to blow up the U.S. Embassy in Bamako, that's the capital of Mali.
Terrorism expert Richard Miniter recently returned from North Africa. He supplied CBN News with exclusive hidden camera footage shot by an undercover informant who penetrated AQIM. Al-Qaeda fighters are seen here in the Mali desert, where they have several terror training camps.
They're training in the desert to carry out military assaults. And those same groups have carried out assaults on the armies of Mali, Niger, and Morocco. In fact, practice for taking on the U.S.
This is the aftermath from one of those deadly raids against an army patrol from Niger. AQIM is seen dividing up the loot they've captured.
Behind the circle of turbaned men, you can clearly see the pile of military hardware, both guns, ammunition, tents, and other desert gear.
This al-Qaeda jihadist was behind the 2009 murder of British hostage Edwin Dyer. AQIM uses money from kidnappings of Westerners like Dyer and other illicit activities like drug smuggling to fund its operations. North African intelligence officials tell CBN News that AQIM has an extensive network in Western Europe. They're concerned that the Obama administration's attention is being diverted by Pakistan and Yemen as a gathering al-Qaeda storm brews in the Sahara. Eric Stakelbeck, CBN News, Washington.
An atheist group in Washington is protesting that atheists aren't being invited to take part in a prayer service. It's a service called One City Praying Together, the first official event at the new D.C. mayor's inauguration this Sunday. The group Secular Coalition for America complains that it's overtly discriminatory to exclude atheists from a service meant to unite all of D.C. They say they believe they can be part of a prayer service without actually praying and without believing in the God that everyone else there will be praying to. President Obama and his family won't be returning to Washington as soon as expected. The president decided to extend their Hawaiian vacation a few more days. The president got a late start on his holiday R&R after staying in Washington to work on legislation in Congress before the year ended. A spokesman for the president says he wants to spend more time with his wife and daughters before returning to work, even though his daughters will miss a couple days of school. The first family will fly back to Washington on January 3rd. The last 2 years of Congress have been the most expensive in history. The government added more than $3 trillion in debt. That adds up to more than $10,000 for every person in the U.S. CNSnews.com points out that the total national debt is now nearly $14 trillion, which comes to nearly $45,000 for everyone in America. Well, as medical costs grow and the economy shrinks, more and more people are choosing to bypass the doctor and treat themselves. And many probably wonder if that's really a viable option for their families. Well, here are some home remedies that come from a very reliable source. For more than 100 years, patients from around the world have traveled to the Mayo Clinic for treatment. Now, for the first time, the famous facility is handing out do-it-yourself tips. Dr. Philip Hagen is the brains behind the Mayo Clinic Book of Home Remedies.
If someone has to come to the doctor, it's often going to cost $50 or $100 or $150. If they have to go into an emergency room, it may cost a lot more than that, $200, $300, $500, and that's a lot for anybody to pay.
Hagen asked his fellow Mayo physicians to list the most common things that their patients could take care of themselves. Topping the list, allergies and their causes, from seasonal pollens outside to irritants inside the house, like dust, pets, and mold.
Try to figure out what it is that you're reacting to, and often people can do that based on the time of year or the fact that they've got a pet. The second thing is to try to avoid the things that set off those allergies.
For example, here's how to fight dust allergens. Put a casing on your pillow and mattress. Wash your sheets in warm or hot water once a week. Vacuum every day if possible, and change your air filter every month. Another age-old treatment is to use a neti pot for rinsing your sinuses with warm salt water.
I like the movement of going back and looking at the wisdom of the ages and then applying a little science and a little testing to it to know whether it's safe for people to use.
If you have a cold or the flu, you can usually treat it at home, which over time saves lots of trips to the doctor. Because on average, preschoolers get 8 colds a year and everyone else about 3. Since there's no cure, the best medicine is to make yourself as comfortable as possible until it runs its course. But the Mayo docs say don't waste your money on over-the-counter cold preparations. For one thing, they should never be given to children under 2, and even older kids should stay away from decongestants, aspirin, and cough syrup. For anyone over 2, you can soothe a cough the natural way by mixing 2 teaspoons of honey into a cup of warm water, tea, or lemon juice. Research shows a little honey at bedtime reduced their nighttime coughing and improved sleep. A humidifier is a cheap and safe way to relieve coughs, congestion, and sore throats. Just make sure to clean it to prevent the growth of mold or bacteria. Gargling with warm salt water several times a day will help a sore throat. And believe it or not, chicken soup can make a difference. It's a proven anti-inflammatory, reduces mucus in the respiratory tract, and relieves congestion. You can possibly shorten the duration of a cold or flu by taking high doses of vitamin C, zinc lozenges, or the herbs echinacea and andrographis. Fevers, on the other hand, can be tricky. Those under 101 degrees should not be treated with medicine because low-grade fevers actually help the body eliminate a virus. But
if your child has a fever over 104, we think that's a time that it really is, you do need to go in and talk to the doctor and see. If you're an adult and you've got a fever and it's less than 101, we're comfortable with you watching it. If it's over 101, we're comfortable with you treating it with something like acetaminophen at home and caring for yourself. But if it stays at 101 or keeps coming back for a couple of days, then we do think you need to go see your doctor and try to figure out.
And no matter what time of year it is, millions of Americans need a little pain relief or a good night's sleep. Doctors say chili pepper seed, when used as a rub, is the most effective way to ease aching joints. And for insomnia, try a lavender fragrance and drink milk.
There's an amino acid in milk called tryptophan that helps make people sleepy. So we can do some things our grandparents would tell us to do. Have a glass of milk before you go to bed.
So take it from the experts. With a little know-how, home remedies can save you time and money. Coming up, rewriting biblical history, how the United Nations is taking the side of Muslims in a dispute over a holy site.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
An Islamic group is threatening to attack the U.S. if President Obama doesn't convert to Islam. The threat comes from the radical Islamic militia Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Al-Shabaab has never been able to strike outside Africa, but intelligence agencies worry about its potential. It's been recruiting young Somali Americans to join its ranks, and about 20 have gone to Somalia for training. American companies are reaching out to Muslim consumers. The Walmart in Dearborn, Michigan carries halal products which meet the Islamic dietary standards. Best Buy began acknowledging a Muslim holiday in their advertising in 2009. American Muslims are seen as an untapped market for U.S. businesses. The push for peace in the Middle East is now intruding on biblical history. The Palestinians say Israel has no claim to the holy site called Rachel's Tomb, and now a United Nations organization known as UNESCO has sided with the Palestinians. Julie Stahl has the story.
UNESCO recently declared 2 biblical sites as Muslim mosques saying they were an integral part of what it called occupied Palestine.
UNESCO is not a scientific society. There's a vote of countries to decide designations of different places.
Hebron's Cave of the Patriarchs is one of those sites. Biblical forefathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are buried there along with their wives. Separate areas are set up for both Muslims and Jews to pray in the cave, yet Islamic authorities say Jews have no history in the place.
Abraham was never a Jew. He was a Muslim, pure Muslim according to the Quran.
This site in Bethlehem near Jerusalem is believed to be the burial place of the biblical matriarch Rachel, the favored wife of Jacob. Some 750,000 mostly Jewish and Christian pilgrims visit and pray at the tomb every year. But the Palestinians, and now UNESCO, say it's a mosque.
The great irony, particularly about Rachel's tomb, is that in Islamic tradition it was never called the Bilal ibn Riba Mosque. This is a whole new invention of the Palestinian Authority from 1996.
Former UN Ambassador Dori Gold told CBN News about historic documents proving Muslims once recognized the tomb as Jewish.
We have an imperial decree of the Ottoman Empire from 1830 which says Rachel's tomb is a Jewish site.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu personally told UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon of Israel's 4,000-year connection to these places, and noted more than 1 billion people believe the historic documentation in the Bible. But Ban's spokesman said the mosque designation was crucial to reviving Israeli-Palestinian peace talks. Gold said Jews have traveled to these sites from around the world for generations.
To suddenly try and eradicate that history and turn Jewish religious sites into Muslim religious sites clearly serves a political agenda, but it is not historical truth.
The international uproar began in February when the Israeli government first included the two places in an official list of its national heritage sites.
Israelis are talking in the halls of power about the effort of some countries to delegitimize the state of Israel. That means charging it with phony war crimes. That means questioning its history, its very foundations.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Bethlehem.
Up next, are you a college football fan or a fanatic with a problem? CBN wades into the debate.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Merry Christmas from CBN News and season's greetings from our troops.
Hello, this is Staff Sergeant Ben Bullock here at R.A.F. Alconbury in England. I'd like to say happy holidays to my parents, John and Carolyn Bullock, back home in Monticello, Arkansas.
Hi, this is the Connell family from Stuttgart, Germany, wishing the Holumbo family in New Hampshire a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Well, it's college football bowl season, and as every fan knows, fans can become fanatics. But can the sport actually become an idol? One football fan and author thinks so, but he recently told CBN's Lee Webb it's possible to stay faithful to your team and your God.
The late sportscaster Howard Cosell once said, "At Notre Dame, football is a religion. In Alabama, it is a way of life." Well, our next guest is an Alabama native who would argue that it's both. Football is a religion and a way of life. Chad Gibbs is the author of the new book, God and Football, Faith and Fanaticism in the Southeastern Conference. Chad wrote this book after he became convinced that following his alma mater's team, the Auburn Tigers, had become an obsession to him. Now, I should point out, in the interest of full disclosure here, that I, too, am an Auburn University graduate, and frankly, in reading Chad's book, felt like he was describing me. Chad, thanks for being with us. How did you recognize that football, and in particular Auburn football, had become an idol in your life?
Well, it was after the 2008 season, which was a particularly poor season for Auburn. You know, I don't think after winning seasons you really reflect too much on whether football is becoming too big a deal. But when you're losing, you sit around and pout and you get a little introspective. And I was starting to wonder, how come I couldn't worship God on Sunday mornings the way I typically do if my team lost a game on Saturday night?
Well, in the interest of addressing your problem, last season you set out to visit every school in the Southeastern Conference for one of their games. And, Chad, frankly, it seems to me that would be like an alcoholic deciding to visit other bars to see how other alcoholics were living. What was your goal in doing that?
Well, you know, I knew I wasn't alone, and I wanted to talk to other fans from other schools that were like me, people that loved their team but also loved their God, and try to find some folks that had a better grip on things, folks that were doing a better job of separating the two and prioritizing the two. And so I began emailing churches and campus ministries during the summer and heard from tons of people that were just like me.
What did you learn, Chad, that has put life in proper perspective and put God back at the top of your priority list?
Well, it's funny. I began looking for people who were just worse than me because I wanted to feel better about myself. And you know, that's human nature, though. We look for people that have a problem worse than ours so we can feel better. But I realized that wasn't the thing to be doing, and it wouldn't make a great book either. Through these journeys, what I eventually realized was that I don't even like football that much. I mean, I obviously like it. I wrote a book about it. I have season tickets. But what I like is the way I feel about myself when my team wins football games. And I realized I was getting so much of my self-worth, so much of my identity from these wins and losses. And, you know, I say in the book, for a Christian to think that their worth as a person has anything to do with intercollegiate athletics is terrifying. But I wasn't the only one. I talked to lots of folks that said, hey, this is my problem too.
And of course, Auburn now plays for the national championship January 10th against the University of Oregon. Do you think you'll have the proper perspective to watch that game, win or lose?
I hope so. This has been an interesting season. You know, winning presents a whole other set of challenges as losing. And I was at a book signing in Gainesville earlier this year, and a woman asked me, she's like, well, since you've written this book, are you able to handle losses better? And I said, I don't know. Auburn hasn't lost a game since I wrote the book.
Yeah.
And her theory was that God was setting me up to really test me later in the season, which I guess January 10th would be the last chance. And my response to her was to get behind me, Satan. I don't want to do this.
I find it interesting. You're an Auburn fan, so am I, but some of your best advice came from a pastor and evangelist who is an Alabama fan. Tell me what he said to you that kind of put everything in perspective.
Yeah, it was David Nasser, an evangelist out of Homewood or Hoover here in town, and he told me, he said, football is a great hobby, but it's a terrible God.
Well, Chad, your book has been a blessing to me personally. I do have a ticket for the game. I'm looking forward to watching our Auburn Tigers play Oregon, and I hope, too, that I have the proper perspective. Tell us quickly, how can we obtain your book? Do you have a website?
ChadGibbs.com is my website, and from there you can find the book on any online retailers and stores nationwide.
Well, again, the name of the book is God in Football, Faith and Fanaticism in the SEC. Chad Gibbs, thanks for being with us and sharing your insights.
Thanks, Lee. War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Keep it down, boys. We'll be right back.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go Foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals Foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchase separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored Bottle Tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the can top popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing Bottle Tops, plus the can top popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more Bottle Tops and the can top popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
President Obama is America's most admired man. That's what a new USA Today Gallup poll shows. It's the 3rd year in a row for Obama. 22% admire him the most, followed by 5% for George W. Bush and 4% for Bill Clinton. 17% pick Hillary Rodham Clinton as the most admired woman, her 9th year in a row at the top. She's followed by 12% for Sarah Palin and 11% for Oprah Winfrey. The poll asked more than 1,000 Americans which man and woman living anywhere on earth they admire the most. Finally today, the cold weather chilling the southeast is causing a rarely seen sight along Florida's Gulf Coast. The Gulf of Mexico's waters have become so chilly, manatees are heading close to shore to warm up. They especially like the heated water flowing out of discharge canals around power plants. Tourists are enjoying the rare sight of nearby manatees lolling around, but this is serious stuff for the manatees. Getting really cold can compromise their immune systems, and that could kill them if it goes on for too long, and hopefully it won't. That's all the time we have for this hour of the CBN News Channel. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.